Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Phyllis Smith. A local behavioral health care provider is offering around-the-clock mobile crisis response. It's aimed at providing substance abuse and mental health treatment where it's needed most. As of July 1st, Westbrook Health Services has expanded its mobile crisis program to provide 24/7 response across 8 counties. The program sends trained crisis specialists directly to people experiencing mental health or substance abuse emergencies, meeting them at their homes, in parking lots, or wherever help is needed. Adult Mobile Crisis Program Director Chelsea Scott says the team is trained to de-escalate situations and connect people with appropriate treatment options, meeting patients where they are and expanding access to other resources.
It decreases the feeling of the pressure of being in an office setting or in a more clinical setting. We can meet people where they're comfortable and try to get them what they need and what they want.
The mobile crisis team works closely with law enforcement, offering an alternative to jail time or involuntary hospitalization for people in crisis. The team responds to about 10 calls per week and can be reached through a 24/7 crisis line at 304-485-1725, which also accepts text messages. The program requires consent from those in crisis and emphasizes keeping people out of hospitals and emergency rooms when possible. Turning to the weather, the rain keeps